I guess we'll just jump right into it, man. It's the Pop and Positivity podcast with the one and only Afrojack. In honor to speak with you. And yeah, the reason why Chicago is jumping in on it is because it's a really good song.
Thank you. You
So
know, like
congratulations.
when you're in the studio making music, like sometimes you think this, but of course you don't know until like it goes to other people and then they get to say it. So I'm happy we all agree on this.
Yeah, and I just got to touch on it too. We also it was perfect timing because we wanted to highlight some of the heroes, and the song is Hero. We wanted to highlight some of the amazing Chicago heroes on America's birthday weekend, the 4th of July. So what we're doing is we're having people call into the station all week long, and they're telling us like who their heroes, first line, first responders, healthcare workers, frontline workers. So, and we're getting some awesome stories, and it goes hand in hand with what the song is probably all about, right?
Well, yeah, it's pretty funny. We actually had a main campaign made before the song even aired. Like we were thinking, like what can we do with the song?
Mhm.
I try to think about that these days instead of just releasing a song to also think like how can we, I say, tell the story of the song. So what we did with a Dutch radio station is exactly this. We had people they could call in, they could say who's your hero, and then you could give something to your hero. So in the case of Holland, we did you can win access to a live show and a helicopter trip and a dinner and night out. So it's like a very cool thing. But you can't win it. You can't win it by calling. You get to give it away to your hero.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah,
It's all about paying it forward. And Whitney,
yeah,
just so you
exactly.
know, the number one song in dance in the on the dance charts right now, Hero, number
I
one.
believe
Number
it.
one.
I was like looking up everything. I have already been running to your song. I mean, that's the cool thing. I'm like, well, hello, there he is. And it was
Ah,
one of those things that when you hear the music and you hear the song, you can't help but want to dance to it. But if you actually listen, you're like, oh, I'm really inspired by this too. So I guess my question would be, who is your hero?
I I don't know. My hero always when I was growing up was definitely my mom because she always supported me no matter what type of thing I wanted to do. I notice when I would like watch movies or just look at society in general, like you see that the standard depiction is like your parents want you to get a job to become successful within society. And the message I always had behind me, and I think a lot of my colleagues and you yourself too, is just do what you love, and that gets you
Mhm.
happy. And I think that message is very important for everyone to know. Like for me, it was a given because my mom gave me that message, but I can imagine a lot of people are not getting the support where they need it. So I think that's very important. I forgot the question. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
No,
well,
you
you
nailed it.
know, well, you answered it. It's your
Yeah.
mom.
MOM
Yeah.
is always a great answer because that's mine too. Whenever anybody asks me that, so you just mentioned the colleagues. David Guetta's on the track, obviously.
Mhm.
What is
Mhm.
it about artists in the dance and EDM world? Y'all just are so fun and like happy and you guys get along with each other. There's no beef like Aoki. I can't. I like everybody. Calvin Harris. Like everybody just loves each other. What is it about that world?
Well, I think Kelvin might be a different personality because he how you say he distanced himself from the DJing scene a long time ago. He's a very nice guy though, like we're all friends. But like within the scene, it's a certain culture. Like generally in dance music, when you how you say become successful as a band or a singer, it's not like you get to meet many like-minded people. Like you might meet them at a TV show or at a big festival,
Mhm.
but it's usually very sporadic. Within dance music, though, the culture is that we all party every week. There's a concert every week. And our concerts aren't concerts where you go to listen for 2 hours and you go home. Our concerts are 8 hour long parties. So we as DJs all got into DJing not for trying to become successful, but for becoming part of this culture, of the party culture, the celebration culture, going out for the weekend and forgetting your worries. It's not just about forgetting your worries, it's like you can make that your life. Like we are taught by society that you have to worry and fit in and do all these things 5 days a week, and then 2 days a week you get to do what you want, and we got to change it. We get to do what we love 7 days a week, And sometimes we have to do some formal business, like everyone has to deal with paperwork and whatnot. But generally, you can turn your life into something you love, and that's the general assumption with everyone that goes into a club, including the promoter, including the DJ, including the people that work behind the bar.
Mm. I
Good point.
love that, turning it into what you love. And I saw that you actually started doing this when you were very young. You knew this
Yes.
vision at a young age. And I think that's really incredible. How did you identify that this was your passion?
But exactly the same message. Like I started identifying that this was my passion, not necessarily for the sake of the actual music production or the DJing, just being part of that situation. Like I started DJing when I was 14 and I started producing when I was 11, just for fun. But when I was 14 and I went to I come from Holland, so there's a farmer mentality there. So people start going out when they're 13, 14. Like it's normal when you're 13, 14 to start going to parties or bars or whatever.
Mhm.
And I always noticed that it was always like fun there. And then when I was 15, I went to a house music party for the first time. And I noticed how everyone from all different types of cultures, different types of religions, different types of financial layers, different races all came together and were just there to enjoy the music. And then
Yeah.
I walked out of the club and I fell right back into how you say society's boxing culture. Like, oh, they're black, they're white, let's split them up. He's rich, he's poor, let's split them up. Like everything gets splitted. But then when you enter the zone, nothing is splitted. And it's like even more impressive if you go to an ultra music festival or EDC, you see so many people together. There are no fights. Like
That's
in these cultural situations, there are no fights. There are no shootings. There are no, well, like I think it happened once in Europe or something, but like never you have this type of stuff because everyone comes together out of passion and love,
Mhm.
not because they have to be or they think it's a necessity. They do it because they love it.
Mhm.
So, in what place do you think you can put 80,000 people together in like a very tiny space, all shoulder to shoulder, and like shit's gonna happen for sure. Like someone's gonna get pissed off, and it doesn't happen at these festivals. And I watch it. I go to Ultra. I don't just play, but I also sit on the side and watch for 6 hours. And when the DJ's finished and the next one's about to play, people just like okay, stand around. They have a conversation. They drink some water. They don't move. They don't go, get out of my zone, man. It's my space. No, they're just like they're excited to be together. So when
oh,
I
this
saw
is
this when I was 15 in the club, and then I went outside and I saw people be people, I was like, well, of course I'm not gonna go there. Of course I'm gonna stay here.
I totally know. I totally know what you mean because I've actually I've been to Ultra, and literally the words you're speaking, I've seen people hug trees. Like a tree hugger is a phrase, but people are literally so happy with life they hug trees.
Yeah,
Um,
that might be a different reason though. The guy was hugging a tree.
It might be, but my question about that though is you've done every festival, Tomorrowland, Ultra. You've done a million Vegas residencies. What is the one like bucket list? I'm a guy. I'm American, and I want to go take my girlfriend to an awesome, dope like festival anywhere in the world. What would you suggest?
I would suggest oof, one of those three: EDC, Ultra, or Tomorrowland. If you want to have the filmic experience, like the Harry Potter thing, go to Tomorrowland. If you
Mm,
want to have the All American Raver experience, go to EDC. And if you really want to enjoy the music and just go for the music and the show, go to Ultra.
okay.
It's like they're all the three biggest, but they really have their own identities. But definitely those three
Top
companies,
three.
like they're
Those are your top three.
yes, and not just their main festivals, also other sub festivals. Insomniac does a lot of other festivals. Ultra does a lot of festivals around the world.
Mhm,
Tomorrowland has a lot of smaller sub events,
mhm.
and they're all triple A grade quality. But it's because the passion of the promoter. So like the people that run it, they do it for the love. Like that they make money, that's just a nice extra. But they started doing it for the love like 10, 20 years ago. So
Like Perry Farrell with Lollapalooza, same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, when you go there, you're going to have an amazing experience because he cares about the experience
Mhm.
more than saving money. That's the difference between, and again, this is again the difference between like regular society where you have companies that are made to make money. In our society, in our culture, all these businesses are started by accident by us doing what we love.
Mhm.
So the focus is way more on when you go to the toilet that you have a nice clean toilet, even though it might cost a little bit extra. But
Right.
we want to have you walk out with a smile. We don't want to have you walk off like feeling dirty or feeling like you have to go pee somewhere else. And you're going to end up peeing on a tree, and then some guy's going to hug the tree and he's going to be sad because he's hugging a pea tree. You know,
I
like
was
we
gonna
don't want
say,
that.
Touche.
there's so much like peace and love. I would say I almost feel a different tone with this interview of just like really like a sweetness to it. And it keeps going back to like wanting the experience to be love and pure. And, you know, one of the things that I saw is that you also like, you know, sometimes there's this competitiveness, but you also scout out young artists and that are coming up and you help build them up. How did you like look in, because you're young yourself, how did you say like I want to go help these younger people to raise up, like do it?
It's fun. It's like it's really fun and it's quite easy. Like, so I'm here doing this interview with you. So say we have an amazing interview and I send you a message on Instagram like, yo, I was with this kid yesterday. He makes amazing music. And you're like, wow, that is amazing. And you send it to your friends and your friends are like, wow, that's amazing. Let's play it on the radio. It's one message from me. But if they send a message, you're not going to see it because you get a million DMs saying like, please listen to my music. So what I try to do is just look for that talent and shape them where possible and just get them the right introductions. Because like I'm there anyway, like I'm here anyway. I might as well bring one of these new guys into the conversation. Like why not?
So
That's
you've
definitely a mind shift.
experienced, yeah, mind shift for sure. You've experienced so much success on every level, but you know, obviously running down all your songs, what piece of work would you say that Afrojack is beyond above everything, like most proud of?
Take over control.
That's a dude. We still play it. I mean, how? I mean, when did that song come out?
2009, I think.
Oh, yeah, we're playing a song that came out 12 years ago. Still, like that tells you how good and relevant it is. So yeah, take over
Well, yeah,
control.
for me, I don't know how it worked for. I think it kind of worked the same for radio though, because my goal with the song was to have the first, how you say, David Guetta was doing a lot of pop dance music,
Mhm.
but it was like pop made with dance sounds. I wanted to do dance with a pop vocal.
Mhm.
So I wanted to be like the first one on the radio to have an instrumental drop, like a big build up, snares, white noise, whoosh, and then boof, boof, boof. And it worked. And it wasn't the biggest song of all time. Like I'm also very proud of Give Me Everything, but with all due respect, that was a pop song. That was a pop song with dance music. Take Over Control was like a real dance record.
Hmm.
I would be
I'm
proud.
loving that
I would be proud
freedom.
of both. Go ahead, Whitney.
Oh, I don't mind the other one. Don't get me wrong.
Give me
Of
everything. But
course,
give me everything was good. That was a big deal, Afrojack.
yeah, number one in 65 countries. I remember it was very ridiculous. Well,
Shout out
fun,
Pitbull. Shout out
like
Pitbull.
crazy.
Shout out Pitbull.
Yo, yeah, and I have to say though, like that culture that I'm speaking about, it's generally everywhere in dance music, but it also happens in pop music. I worked with Pitbull a lot. I work with Neo a lot. Um, wow, what's his name? Enrique Iglesias. Also, like there's a certain vibe amongst certain pop artists. Not every pop artist. A lot of pop artists are also like all business, business, business. But there are also many pop artists that are really in it for the love. Another great example, Mark Anthony. Like Mark Anthony is so chill. It's like ridiculous how chill he is for like
Legend.
the level of success. Same thing with all these other guys I named. Like they're amazing people and just fun to be with. And that's what it's about. We're here to have fun. We're not here to plot a new scheme about making more money.
I
It's
love
Mr.
that.
Burns style.
One thing we ask everyone on Pop and Positivity is what do you want your legacy to be? And I'm like, I'm kind of feeling like you're living in your legacy. Like it's already like this big formation, but I'm just curious, what would you want your legacy to be?
I just hope that like I'm an example of being able to how do I say this? Is very important to me because I learned by working with David. I had a very long-term business relationship with David, and we both won from that. We made many collaborations. We had lots of fun. Uh, of course, like he helped my career a lot, but I also helped him on the production side a lot. So, and we still work together today. And a lot of general assumption within the music industry is that when you work together, like if you split or the deal is over, there's always like fights and there's court cases and there's problems and all this stuff. And I learned by working with David, this is not necessary at all. If we're just like focusing on our passion and what we love and we make clear agreements in advance, you can both become very successful and have an amazing business relationship. So I'm trying to build a company built on that. Like I want to create win-win situations, and I want my company to be exemplary for other companies to understand you do not have to take every penny possible from the artist. You should not be hiding income through different structures within a label by signing it to a sub label or being your own third party. Like there's so many things happening, like for the companies to grow themselves. And these companies are usually owned by shareholders, so you can't really blame them. But I want to make sure that new artists understand they're not necessarily dependent on these bigger companies. You don't have to. I think it's like it is the same thing if you look at a Tesla. Tesla is making cars, as far as I know, that are improving the world's health. So you can have a great car and improve the world's health. Like I love cars. I would never think of getting excited about driving a Tesla. But I recently saw a friend of mine who was sitting on the back couch of his car with his feet by the steering wheel and the car driving itself. I was like, well, that seems pretty nice, though. It's probably illegal, but that seems really nice. And I just wanna create goodness. Like it's an accident that you guys are in the. What's the name of the podcast? The Pop in Positivity podcast.
Got
Well,
it.
there you go. It's a lucky coincidence I'm here, but that's really what I want to give. Like you can win with positivity too. You do not have to be negative or be watching yourself. Like you can read the 48 laws of power, but you don't need to apply them in order to get successful. You can also get successful based on happiness. It's like
So many important. Whitney, I think we were just taken to school by Afrojack.
I know. I was just sitting here eating my popcorn.
It was great. I could listen to you all day. I know you're busy, and I know it's getting late over there. I do want to mention real quick. Well, thank you for your time, by the way. We appreciate it. Those young artists that you have, let us know. Like seriously, like let the label know. Slide into my DM. Let me know about what you hear, what you want. And
I can tell you right now just some names to watch. Chico Rose, been working with for a while. He's been doing well. He just hit like I think 200 million streams or something. On fire.
Cool.
He has like 2 million monthly listeners, and he started 3 years ago, so that's insane. New guys I just signed from America, Black V-neck, house music producers, amazing producers, amazing DJs, but they never really made a song. So I just made their first song with them together, and also just like Hero, co-produced by Stargate. Like Stargate got the vocals, yo. Like they have the vocals.
I mean, dude, I'm like, is that Sia? What's going on? What is? Yeah, dude.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say it now. I'm very excited about this record, so I'm gonna say it now. The first Black V-neck record that you're gonna get sent for potential radio play, like to me, it's like Take Over Control 2021. It's like house music, but the vocal is so dope. You can get full on house music on pop radio. That's my goal with this record. It's insane. I'm so excited about it. I was working on it last night at 3 a.m. That's how excited I was about it.
What's the song called? What's the song called?
I can't tell you.
Okay. You know, I gotta
want to
ask.
get clearances done, paperwork first, and then I'll get you the interview. I'll get you the how you say it, the prime thing.
Exclusive. No.
Exclusive. I'll get you the exclusive. I haven't done American interviews in a while, so my English went all over the place.
Nailed it, dude.
We're glad
Hey,
you're here.
yeah, dude, you are crushing it right now. Obviously, Hero is going to be the theme of the weekend for 4th of July. Obviously, you've been to Chicago. You've performed in Chicago.
Yes.
So
I was supposed to come back this month, but because of COVID, all the embassies are closed, so I can't get my visa renewed. So I'm
we're not
probably
going
coming in
anywhere.
October.
We're not going anywhere. Perfect. October is my birthday month. We'll
Stay
party.
right there. Chicago, don't move.
Afrojack, dude, a pleasure. Whitney, what an awesome podcast. You are amazing. And we're going to have such a hero weekend with 4th of July. So
Let's do
Thank
it.
you for coming on.
Thank you for the support.
we'll talk to you soon, bro. Congrats.
Speak soon.